going on, guys? Welcome back to I don't know what you want to call this, but I guess maybe a rambling rider podcast style, rambling driver podcast. So this is, as you can tell, I am in a Toyota FJ. So I finally got it. I pulled the trigger. It's been about a week since, maybe even more than a week, since I've actually talked to the camera. I've had this since Tuesday, and it's now Sunday. So I've had it for a little bit. And man, I'm so glad I got this thing. You might be able to tell I'm just sitting here holding this camera with my hand, so sorry if it's like not the best angle or something, but whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, I've been loving this thing. There's been some problems with it, of course, because it was the one I was talking about that had some emissions check engine light stuff involved. Or not check engine light actually, but I think last time I talked about it, I hadn't taken a second look at it, and I looked at it again on Monday, and I took in a mechanic that I know, and he scanned it with his scan gauge, which is nice, and he could tell me that, oh yeah, since the battery was dead on the thing, completely dead, there's these things called the monitors for the emissions stuff, and they basically will track your emissions and kind of be able to tell over time if the emissions are good or bad. And there are things that involve like the air intake sensors and the O2 sensors and air fuel ratio mix sensors and some stuff like that. So basically because the battery was dead, those essentially were they couldn't log their data. So since there was no data that has been logged on it, even though I took it on a test drive, it couldn't tell me whether the emissions were good or not. So we suspected that there was something wrong with O2 sensors, or maybe the cats are bad. And so I talked the guy down about $1,000, and I said, yeah, if this ends up being like the cats, that's about $1,000 right there. So I did. I talked him down $1,000, and I still bought it. And so far, it's been a pretty good, reliable vehicle. And eventually, as we suspected, you have to drive about 50 miles or so for those monitors to come back. And right around 50, 60 miles, the check engine light came on, which we were expecting. So I just went ahead and replaced the O2 sensors right away. And that was yesterday, actually. I did that, and that was a tough job because those O2 sensors are on the exhaust right after the collectors combine into one, and then it's right on the back of the engine essentially. And right now I'm driving out to the beach actually. I don't know, I hope this camera's not too close to my face. It's kind of hard to sit here and hold it out like this, but I know some YouTuber, vlogger, people like that, they just say it's tough at first, but you get used to it pretty quick. But I don't think I'm going to be car vlogging that much. I think most of my vlogging will be on the motorcycle, and then maybe occasional stuff if I get like a camera mount in here. So anyways, we fixed that, and now I'm driving out to the beach, and they have check engine light hasn't come back on yet. We cleared the code. Just to see if it will come back. And so far it hasn't. Wow, this is a rough road sometimes. But I like it. That's what this thing's for. Nah, it's more for dirt off-road stuff, really. But yeah, so I'm going to the beach. It's a specific beach that is you can drive on. So that's why I'm going there. Kind of just have been wanting to take this thing somewhere to do off-roading, but I haven't yet. So now this is my first chance, really. I've been driving it to work and back, just trying to get used to it on the road. And man, I love this thing. It's it's great. So yeah, I did the O2 sensors and I did the brake pads, which is, I'll find the front ones were way lower than the rear, but I did them all around anyways, and yeah, the fronts were just hanging on there. Basically like a millimeter of pad left on the brake backing metal or whatever it's called. So yeah, that was a good call. And then I did the air filter intake, and then I also started to do spark plugs. And I did half of them in the sense of V6. I did 3 of them, and on the third one, there was a bunch of kind of dark, thick oil kind of pooled down at the bottom of the spark plug hole. I got all over, it was all over the spark plug and whatnot. So, and I was doing this work outside my mechanic friend's shop. So he came out, or I showed him, yeah, this seems to be leaking here, and he's like, oh, that's just a valve cover gasket. That's probably no big deal. You just gotta go replace it, and you can tell it's a slow leak because it's thick oil, so that has time to dry out, almost, if you want to say that. What's going on up here? People are slowing down. I still got 30 more miles on this road. Thank you, Jeep. There's a Jeep Gladiator there. Been behind that for a little bit. But so that's another small problem, or not small exactly, but it's going to be kind of a big job. Not really that big. It's not like I'm taking the heads off, but the valve covers. I got to take that off and replace the gasket. Thankfully, the part's only like $30 for a set for both sides. That's not bad. Compared to like the brake pads were $70 for the front, $70 in the rear. The O2 sensors were like $128 or something for one, and I needed 2 of them. And I did the upstream ones because those are the ones that are more likely to go bad. Or see, my mechanic friend again, he told me, yeah, that code there usually means it's the upstream O2 sensors. So it's a good thing you should replace those, and then if it still comes back, then we can, it's probably the cats. So they're just degrading. Man, this is a pretty cool road though. I think I've driven this like once before. But yeah, I love this drive. It's cool. There's some roads around in this area that are pretty nice. Wow. Yeah, and it's finally, I don't know if you could be able to tell, but it's finally really nice weather. Even though it's like middle of February. It's kind of bizarre. It's like right on the edge of being t-shirt warmth. So yeah, you can see my thermometer there. It says 47. Not bad. And it's completely clear, and there was a little bit of wind yesterday, but I think it's stopped today. So yeah, this is gonna be such a nice day. So yeah, I'm taking this thing out, kind of test drive. And I know when you drive on the beach, you're supposed to air down. might, but I don't have any tire pressure gauges with me. You know, brand new car. I haven't moved anything over or whatever, but yeah, I might try and go without air down. I know you can if you try and just avoid the real soft sand, but we'll see. Sometime, I know, at least I have 4 high, which I hope I'm not in 4 high. Shoot, I may have been driving 4 high that whole time. Oh no. I put it in 4 high because yesterday I was, changing the brake pads, and I wanted to make sure when I lifted up the rear end to do the brake pads on the rear, I want to make sure that at least the parking from the transmission would hold it, because the parking brake is only on the rear, and I'm replacing the brake pad, so I'm pretty much just defeating the brake anyway. So I'm pretty yeah, I had to. I hope that wasn't actually in high. I may have not have had it in all the way. I didn't notice anything though, so we'll see if I get stuck at the beach, I guess. If 4 high actually works or not. Anyways, I also got the diff lock and A-track system, which is kind of a cool system that will be able to detect if one of your wheels starts to spin, and it will just apply the brake to it. But it's kind of it kind of applies like a brake pulse. So if you've ever seen anyone use it, it's not as good as a locker, but it'll at least for a moment like send pulses of power to the other side. So it applies it for like half a second, because if you do gain traction again, they don't want you to have that brake still applied to that one wheel. So they gotta be able to let it loose and see if it's still spinning free. So it's kind of this weird system. It's not perfect, I don't think, but there's some people that swear by it, so I don't know. We'll see. So kind of really trying to do this just to go test my 4-wheel drive, and the rear diff locks and the A-track system, to see if they all work. So anyways, I really don't know what else to talk about. I've been loving this thing. It's got actually not as bad mileage as I was expecting. I got this little gauge over here, which I've had since I had my truck, and I had it on my Subaru. I did trade in my Subaru, by the way. Oh, I'm pulling out there a little far. I think that's the spot, that road that I just passed, or maybe it's one coming up. There's a spot where you can. Oh wait, that's at a different highway. If you continue out the 26 west, instead of going down whatever highway I'm on, I don't remember actually. This is the one that goes, splits off at Banks. I don't know if anyone wants to look at a map, but this is splits off at Banks, and I'm going to the coast that way. But if you continue on the 26, there's the public shooting range out there that I've been to once, which is it's an okay shooting range, I guess. It was kind of busy when I was there. So yeah. Anyways, I thought I recognized that road back there as that road that you take to get to that shooting range, but I'm on a completely different road, so it can't be. Anyways, yeah, I traded in my Subaru, talked him down $1,000. I probably could have got better for my Subaru if I sold it myself, but I really don't care. I actually see on the dealer's website, I see my car now listing it 4,000 higher than, no, 3,000 higher than I sold it to him for. So, and I respect that because, you know, people got to make a living somehow. That's his job, is buy cars at lower prices, sell them at higher prices. Kind of makes me wish there weren't a middleman, but, you know, I don't really. I'm not gonna accuse someone for trying to make a living, you know. So I respect that. I sold it in for $9,000. I probably could have got 10 or 11, maybe even 12, which is what he's listing it for. But I don't know. When I sold my truck, I listed that for $7,000, and I eventually sold it for $5,000 to someone. So I think maybe I'm just too nice. I know that I probably would have got probably around the same deal if someone, you know, said, "Hey, I can give you 8,000 or something," and I probably would have said, "Okay." So I don't know, 8 or 9,000. So yeah, it was I think a good deal for what this is. It's Toyota. And I think it's going to last a long time as long as I can take care of it. And yeah, I'm super happy with this thing. This thing's pretty cool. I have already a big list of mods I want to do to it, but that's going to take time. I got to make the money back. And there's a couple of things the essential things I got to take care of. One of the things that's kind of a big problem, I already ordered the parts for it, is wheel spacers. The wheels that are on this thing are not stock FJ Cruiser wheels, but they're still a Toyota wheel, but I think they're from a Tacoma or a 4Runner. I was looking up, I was trying to find them online, and looks like they're if you look up, I think it was 2014 Tacoma TRD 17-inch wheels. They're the aluminum 5-spoke wheels, but they're like the shiny aluminum ones. But I'll have to take some video on the outside of this thing to show you guys around a little bit. But someone painted them black, which I kind of like the look of them, but you can already tell in a couple places the paint's coming off. So it's not the best, but man, this road's taking longer than I expected to take. It's still got 21 miles left. I guess going about 55 will do that. So, but yeah, so they had the difference between the stock FJ wheels and these Tacoma wheels. There's a bigger offset, which means it pulls the wheel and tire inwards towards the body, or towards the center of the car. So the previous owner, whoever did that, put wheel spacers on to push it back out a little bit, it looks like. But when I was doing the brakes, you could see some of them were starting to crack. So that's not good. They must have put either cheap ones on there, or wheel spacers just suck. So yeah, I don't know. I need to, when I redo it, my mechanic friend's been helping me out a lot. I was talking to him a lot yesterday, and he's lending me his tools at his shop. He still works. He works Saturdays. So I just dropped by, and he said, "Yeah, just work in the parking lot here. I'll lend you my tools if you need them." So that was real nice of him, and he'd occasionally walk out and just check on me. So yeah, it's real nice. But he was saying for the wheel spacers, things like that, you got to put Loctite on them and make sure you get them not too tight, but tight enough. Because if you get them too tight, they can still crack, and if you don't tighten them up enough, then they'll they'll have a little shimmy or something, and then they'll start to crack as well. So you gotta get them just right, and he said he'll help me do that because he has the right torque wrench or whatever. So that's cool. So yeah, I already ordered those. I got new ones coming on the way, and I was looking on the FJ Cruiser forum, and people are recommending the Spider Tracks as the recommended ones that are just high quality enough to, they shouldn't break apart, but we'll see. I would rather not have to have wheel spacers and just get a proper offset wheel, but that'll be kind of further down the line. That's a bit bigger expense. And if the new wheel spacers do hold up, I might just keep them because I do kind of like the wider stance. But so if I get the proper offset wheel, and then also have wheel spacers that are still good, I think it will work. I think it'll look kind of cool. So I keep finding myself holding the camera like real close to my face. Trying to get used to not doing that. Oh, it's the first time I've actually done something remotely like a vlog in a car, or holding a camera at myself like this. It's weird. But anyways, man, this is such a beautiful drive. I love it. And of course, you might be able to tell visibility in this thing is not great. Like the blind spots are kind of terrible. And these mirrors, I'm trying to hold the camera at my perspective. Yeah, let's try and get that like right there. Right? So that view right there, you might be able to see the mirrors. They're okay. Like they're big mirrors, but they're tall. I'd rather them be wide. I need wide mirrors to cover my blind spots, but they're like tall, and they're kind of stupid because they themselves sometimes create a big blind spot. Like when you're going in a turn, because they're tall, like they kind of blind the spot that you're looking at, that you're turning into. So like if you're turning through an intersection, sometimes it's like it blocks the lane that you're driving into just right for a significant part of the turn. And it's just like, these things are stupidly huge, but in the wrong way. It's just, I don't know. That's one gripe I have about this vehicle, which I can get used to. Blind spots are, you just got to learn to check your mirrors more often and be more aware of the cars around you all the time, which I'm fine with. I do normally do that. I think I was starting to get used to, hey, another FJ. I don't know if there's such a thing as an FJ wave. I don't know. I know there's a Jeep wave, but I always thought that was stupid. But now I find myself waving at other FJs, and I'm not sure if I see them wave back. So maybe I just shouldn't do it. It's stupid. I think I'm just excited to have an FJ, and I'm just like seeing other FJs on the road. It's like, yeah, part of the club or something stupid. I don't know. So there's not a whole lot of these on the road, but there's still some here and there. There's actually a couple others that I've seen parked in my neighborhood, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, I've said it so many times, I've been loving this thing. Just at first it felt like the suspension was real loose, and maybe that's just comparison to my Subaru I got used to or something, but it is, I can tell it's loose, but it doesn't feel as bad as I initially thought. Like at first I thought it felt like really like a boat, sort of, like a, like, I don't know if you've ever driven a big vehicle like this. Like my mom used to have this 2001 or 2000 Suburban, and that thing, yeah, that was like a gas guzzler boat. That thing was, yeah, big. I don't think I ever got to drive that. I think they sold it before I was driving, but Yeah, I could totally tell just riding it that it was big, sluggish, big thing. Yeah, so this is sort of similar, but I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the suspension is soft for probably off-roading. So that's probably part of it. And yeah, but I think I've quickly gotten used to it. I almost don't really notice it much anymore. So that's kind of nice. Wow, there's nice down here. Hey, there's one of those stupid electric Mustangs that doesn't look like a Mustang. I don't get that stupid car. I don't remember if I've talked about it before, but man, I don't understand. Like, I'm fine with them making that car. Like, I have nothing wrong against the car itself, like the electric car, and it's an SUV, but don't call it a Mustang, because it's not a Mustang. It's some SUV, some stupid thing. I don't know. I feel like they should have just called it something new. I don't know. I think it's stupid, but I don't know. Anyways, that's my short rant on it. Man, I'm so glad the weather is good right now. This is it's like something wanted me to have this car at this time so I could do this. So nice. I don't know how easy it's going to come across on camera, but the feel of this cab is way different than anything I've ever driven. Like the windshield is just far away, or not far away, but it's just like the top. If I try and reach for the visors, which I don't know if I can really do that while steering and holding a camera, but like I have to actually reach kind of far to just reach my visor. It's kind of like I have to lean forward a little bit to put it down. And it's not like I'm a short person or anything. I'm 6 foot tall. It's not like I have short arms either, so it's definitely a bigger vehicle in certain regards. And yeah, I love it, because that, like, going to the Subaru, I always felt a little cramped in that thing, even though it was I fit just fine in it, but it just felt slightly claustrophobic, or like I don't know, I just could never feel quite comfortable if I took it on a long road trip. Where this thing, I feel like, I don't know, I totally more my size, and I love it. Yeah, I don't think I have any other negative things about this thing. The gas mileage, I mean, you can see right now. See, up the top left there is my instantaneous gas mileage. The top right number is my average MPG so far, which a lot of it has been more of the city driving and such. So if you look at, oh, I have the I guess this thing doesn't detect when my gas tank is full. Oh. You can see so starting from the left, the middle there now, left middle, that's the distance to empty, except it won't detect when my gas tank is full, like my Subaru did. So I gotta change that gauge out for something better. There we go. Okay, so that must have been the half-hour mark. Anyways, I was saying the got to change out that gauge. This says negative 28 because right now it's going negative because it thinks I'm running on fumes or something. I don't know. So I can't detect my gas tank level. Let's see here. Going below that is my average MPG for this trip. So since my engine has started, it resets the average MPG for that lower left number. So this trip I've been averaging 21, and it's kind of more of a a longer road trip type thing. So that's kind of a good sign to me. It's not that bad of MPG. Not as bad as my truck was, which on this trip probably would have been getting I want to say around 17 or 18. So it's it's a little higher than that. My Subaru averaged maybe 24 or maybe 26 on a trip like this. Longer highway driving. Even if we're going through these curvy roads like this, I think this honestly is more fuel efficient at these speeds anyways, but right around 55, 60. So that's kind of nice that this is not that bad. Then on the right side, in the middle, the small number on the top, or below the big number, I should say, 55. That's the intake temperature, which is in Fahrenheit. So it's pulling in 55 degree temps for the intake, which is nice. That's only 4 or 5 degrees above the ambient temperature, which right now is 51. And then the one below that is the engine temp, which I believe is ran off of the somewhere probably detected around the thermostat on the coolant. So it's not exactly the engine temp, but it is the coolant temp coming out of the engine. So yeah, that's kind of useful. And my Tundra ran around 185, 186.8, the same thing. And then my Subaru was always a little bit higher, like 190, 195. So yeah, I'm pretty much back to what my truck was. It's basically Toyota engineering. I guess they must, they get that coolant temperature down a little bit more than most people or other manufacturers, which is probably a good thing. So anyways, I know in my truck, if it was a really hot day and I was driving through the desert at a highway at 70 miles an hour in Arizona, it was maybe 105 out, maybe 90 to 100 degrees outside, and you can see on the intake temp it was like 102, 110, something like that, because it's always a little bit higher. But then my coolant temp then would actually go up to about 200, maybe 205, if I was going up a hill. But didn't really get much higher than that. But my Subaru, I didn't even own it that long. I did own it over the summer here, but it never got that hot. Like, I don't know, like it would be in the 80s or so, and then it would be above 210 or around 210 or something. I'm just like, that seems a little high, but maybe it's just used to being a Toyota owner. Anyways, so I like that it's back to, I don't know, I love Toyota. And when the Subaru that I got from a family member, I was telling them, yeah, I'm gonna sell the Subaru for something that's better for camping and is a Toyota. And they're like, yeah, it's your vehicle, but why would you sell a Subaru? And I'm just like, my experience with Toyota is much better. I don't know if maybe they've just never driven a proper Toyota. Maybe they had one long time ago. I don't know. But their minds, Subaru is the best, and I'm just like, no, not by a long shot. Well, not a long shot. They're pretty reliable, I'll give them that, but they're just not as nice. There's some things about them that just, I don't know. Maybe they're newer ones, because that was a 2011 Subaru, and it was pretty much a base model, so maybe they're nicer higher end models, or I don't know. It's just, they weren't as the right vehicle for me. I like big vehicles, and Subarus were always just kind of smaller vehicles, even if they were meant for outdoor stuff. Or I don't know. As one of my friends put it, when I told him I'm looking into getting an FJ, he was like, "Yeah, I'm so excited for you to get a big vehicle again, because like whenever I picture you, I just think of like you and your truck. You and your truck just match so well. And whenever I think of a Subaru, I just think of like a tree hugger." And I'm just like, yeah, exactly. I know. One of my cousins, who was kind of a tree hugger, a little bit, you could call her that. She owns almost the exact same Subaru. It was a 2011 Subaru Forester in the same color too. So we had pretty much the exact identical car. And I'm just like, yeah, that's the vehicle for her, but it's not the vehicle for me. I'm so glad that, I don't know. It's not a bad car, it's just not for me. So, oh my god. I don't understand people who get big lifted trucks and put stupid low profile tires, and then put big wide wheels and tires on it that stick out like crazy. They look so fucking stupid. And they're pretty much useless. They're making it more difficult to use, like get in and out of, because that high of a lift. And they're making it worse for off-road. For one, the suspension like that sucks, and also the tires like that suck. You're gonna end up destroying those rims, which, you know, are like 2 inches from the asphalt to the wheel, because the tire is so thin. Stupid. Easily destroy those rims if you try and take them off-road. So obviously they don't take it off-road, but maybe the only upside would be it might be better tires for gas mileage, except when you do a lift like that, it kind of destroys your gas mileage. So it's stupid. And it's not like you can have it as a mud bog truck either, because you'd want a big lift like that for a mud bog truck. But those wheels and tires are the complete opposite of what you want for a mud bogging. So, okay, now this car in front of me seems to be slowing down quite a bit. Yeah. Yeah, you can kind of tell from a previous owner of this thing didn't take that great care of it. Like, I'm pretty sure they did the oil changes, but like past that, I'm just, I don't know. I don't think they took good care otherwise. Like the brake pads were real low. The problems with whatever this EGR system is, or not EGR, the emission system that, like the O2 sensors are an item you need to replace every once in a while. It's maybe like 100,000 miles or something, but you still need to replace them, and they just never did. And the spark plugs, probably, the ones that I did replace did look like they're probably factory ones, so yeah. And the air filter wasn't great. Like I feel like whoever owned it just like didn't know there's more than just oil changes you need to do. But down to where I'm going to be turning here, so I think I'm going to put away the camera until I get to the beach, so I'll see you guys there. Alright. So we're at the beach. Just put it in 4 high, and it's almost thinking maybe 4 low, but nah, I don't think that's, you need some wheel speed for beach. Anyways, I got the diff lock on, and we'll see how it goes. There we go. Man, there's some deep stuff here. Oh, sorry. My bad. Thank you. Oh yeah, this is deep. I'm gonna try and keep my momentum here. And don't want to get too close to the water if I do get stuck. It's kind of fun though. I think 4 high was the option. Pretty good. Idea. I can totally feel it slowing me down though. Look, here's one of those Broncos. That's pretty sweet. I said those things are cool. God, this thing really steers into the ruts, that's for sure. Man, I don't know where to stop. I need to find somewhere that's like a little bit of a hill so that the gravity can pull me back off the hill. I think that's the idea now. Man, it's nice out. I love it. Temp's gone up to about 53 now. So it's a little bit higher. Oh, here's a good spot. All right. Stuck that in my day. There is a day fee for here. It was $10, which I didn't remember that was a thing. I've been here before, but not driving on the beach. So, anyways, $10, not bad for a nice day like this. Anyways, maybe we'll get into some cinematic shots here. So show you guys around. Alright guys, this is my FJ Cruiser. It's the silver version, and it's got TRD stickers on there, even though this was never offered in a TRD model for this year. So that's interesting. Someone stuck those on there. It's got the some blacked out wheels I was talking about. They look pretty good, not bad. Man, silver color. just fine color. Would have liked to have a blue one, but those are harder to find. I think a lot of people like the blue ones. But man, I'm so happy I have this thing. I love it. Yeah, it was a. I was kind of wondering if maybe my front might not have been engaged, because look how. If you can really tell how shallow the ruts are there, and then here they're much deeper behind the rear. Makes me wonder if it was even doing anything, but I don't know. I hope that's not the case. I did have it in 4 high. Oh, and I did remember, I didn't put it all the way in to 4 high when I was doing my brakes, I noticed. Because I had it in park, or just the vehicle was off when I changed it, so I didn't go all the way in. And I had been looking at my dash the whole time anyways to see if the dash lights came on, and the 4-wheel drive light was never on. So I didn't have 4-wheel drive driving on the highway. But yeah, this thing's looking good. Anyways, I'm gonna pull out. It's a little bit windy and breezy here. We're up here at Pacific City. They got a little bit of like sand dunes and stuff, a little bit through this area, but yeah, it's beautiful. I'm gonna pull out my chair and just kick back and relax. It's a little bit cool. Might throw in a sweater that I brought, but man, I love it. It's so nice out. All right, so these are the dash lights. I don't know if you can really see that, but yeah. So the flashing red is the locker. The green is four high or just 4-wheel drive, and so those weren't on earlier. So I do know that I wasn't actually all the way in 4 high before, so that's good relief, I guess. But yeah, I'm just gonna test it out. Maybe I can stick the camera down below the door here real quick. Let's see. Actually, I'll stick it full up. Oh yeah. The front pulling. Okay. Alright. Good, so I think it's working. And that was actually in 4 low. I'm gonna you gotta throw it to neutral to throw this into 4 high. That's 2 high. So 4 high. And yeah, it works. So I'm gonna head out of here, guys. I think this is gonna be the end of this video. It's getting a little chilly here, a little bit cooler. I think maybe just because I've been relaxing here, I've been cooling off, but it's only 52. So anyways, it's like a real nice day. That's gonna be the end of this video. So see you guys later. Ciao.